Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Rock and Beards podcast with your boy HSR. And joining me today,
It's me, Jay. Once again, I'm here.
and he is joining us, as you know, from the Rocket. What was your podcast? I almost
Why
introduced
the hell
ourselves.
not?
Fuck, man. Yeah, the Why the Hell Not podcast with Jay and Costa, and you can find the link to that in the description below. Also, if you don't want to hear us ramble on about Rise Against, you can click Show More, and you can go through by song and skip to whatever the fuck you care about. On that note, Jay, why don't you tell us which of their albums we are reviewing today?
We were reviewing their new album that came out on Friday. It's called Wolves.
So yeah, hopefully this comes up today, Saturday. So yeah, it is in fact yesterday, Friday. Woo! Very excited personally. I'm a huge fan of Rise Against. I discovered them back in the Siren Song of the Counterculture days. So I think it was their first really big mainstream album that came out, and then I've followed most of their career to this day. So this is quite great of an experience to be able to review my second favorite band of all time. Followed after Linkin Park disappointed me a couple weeks back. Also, sorry we missed last week. Jay here wasn't able to make it.
I was very sick. I'm better now. So,
Yeah, he
enjoy
was
the show.
polite and didn't infect me.
That's it.
So yeah,
He's
we're
not
back.
down with the sickness.
We're going to try to keep this going as weekly as we possibly can, but Montreal has shit weather and it makes us all feel terrible.
It's all the weather. It was actually I was dying.
You weren't, you were?
No.
Okay, anyway.
Sympathy, please.
So when did you encounter Rise Against in your life?
I've heard them like a song here and there. I obviously did something stupid. I got confused once and thought they were Rage Against the Machine a couple times. But, they're not my forte, but I went into the CD open-minded because of this, wonderful podcast that we do. It was an interesting CD. You'll find out more when we talk about it. I have a question for you. What did you think of the artwork?
I really like this album cover. I feel like, I'm doing like 2 to 3 of these album reviews a week at this point, and most of the album covers I come across are kind of shitty and or boring or whatever. But this one, it's called Wolves, right? And it's this cool art museum like painting-esque picture of the wolf silhouettes with colors and stuff. And I was just at an art museum, and it made me picture the paintings I was just seeing in the modern art section. So I suppose I appreciate the effort that was put into creating this kind of ambient little album cover that we have here.
Kind of look like graffiti a bit too, a tattoo maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know if you played Infamous too, but it's kind of something you can see in Infamous.
I think I played the first one, so I kind of know what you're talking about.
Oh, the spray paint. Eventually,
Yeah.
after you do a mission, you get to do some big ass art thing. Anyways,
Okay.
for me, the reason I looked at it like that, then for some reason, it came into my mind when I started thinking about this art. I was thinking of Bob Ross,
Okay.
and I just started to like laugh at it.
Right, because in the background, it's
Yeah.
like they interpolated this wolf onto a classic Bob Ross painting.
And that's what I think. I was just looking. I'm thinking of Bob Bryce, or whatever Ross.
Yeah.
And I'm just like lying in bed listening to this album. And I can't stop giggling because I'm just like about to take a nap now because of Bob Ross. The album cover is good. It's not amazing. I
No.
felt. I'm gonna be honest with it. It's a pass. It's passable, not
Look,
a pass. It's nothing
All
spectacular.
I'm saying is it looks like effort was put into it.
It looks
You're
like
right.
a shirt.
Yeah.
Could be on a shirt.
Oh, you know what? It's probably what it was. They just wanted to be able to sell the shirt with this album cover and just be like, boom.
But that's the thing is,
Alright.
like, you know what? And if that's the case, I would buy a shirt like that. But I wouldn't
would.
buy it. But the thing is, if I went down the store and this is back, like, we'll say this back in the 90s when CDs were big, I would look at the CD cover and I'd probably pass it as a kid.
You know what? It doesn't have, like, let's say, some of the more captivating natures of other CDs, but I guess at this point in Rise Against career, they can just take that kind of risk because more or less people are coming to them on name at this point, right? Like, so at their 7th or 8th album, I didn't really check. I just know that they've had a whole bunch of shit that's come out, and yeah, I was super excited. You want to get into this? You want to talk about Wolves, the first track?
So the first track is Wolves. I want to say one thing about it first.
Oh, what?
Well, I was actually kind of impressed that it's the first time in a while that the opening, like, you know, the title of the album you usually have a song, and it's always like the fifth or sixth song.
Right,
It's
right.
right away. It's like Wolves is a CD. You're gonna get Wolves right away.
Yeah, fair play. All right, Wolves. Okay. So the way this started, I felt like I was back in the pit at the last Rise Against show I saw back in like, I don't know, fucking 2008 or whatever. And it was exhilarating for me the way it started with the heavy drums, the heavy energy. Um, the song actually creates the context for the album, which is cool from like a lyrical standpoint. Because Rise Against has always had a message behind their music. They're heavy activists. Let's say they've been at this lot before it was cool, so they're not really posers about this shit. They've just always cared a lot, right? And this song kind of reflects this calling of the outcast, the wolves on the outside of society who are starving, and they're like the sheep are becoming wolves now because they're just had enough of it and we're ready to like fight back and do what we gotta do. That's kind of what I took from like the subject matter of the song, and it was delivered great, man. It was that classic Rise Against feel to me. The right kind of like it's punk enough to still fit punk, but pop enough to be like digestible regardless of if you're heavy into punk or not. And I think that's what really got me into Rise Against because it was.
I don't know if I feel like it's a punk CD though.
I don't know if they're really that punk anymore. I would qualify it more under pop punk, to be completely honest with you. But it's definitely got punk elements, man.
Or like a rock, like it's just anyways, it's
like
the first song.
Because like you check the drummings, right? It's that kind of high energy feel to it. The bassing, it's fast, right? Like it's faster than classic rock would be, or any other of the rock side of shit, right? Like when we check shit in the Future Unity, it's a lot slower than this. It relies heavily on 3 chords, 4 chords, right? Which kind of falls into that. A lot of woes and singing. Maybe not as many on this song, but like just the whole structure to me. And what I've always loved about Rise Against, that I feel like I always put them an edge above a lot of the other dudes, is that their bassist doesn't completely rely on the guitar roots and just play those notes the same as the guitar. He creates some dynamicism and other patterns and plays with the arpeggios a bit more, and I feel like it creates a fuller experience in the song. I fucking really liked it. But to be fair, this is not like the banger of bangers, the greatest track on the album per se. I gave this a 4 on 5 because it's a strong start. It's great for setting the tone, amazing energy, great guitars, bass, drums, everything. You know, his voice is on point, mixed properly. You know, it kind of felt a little safer. You know.
Okay. Well, for me, so first thoughts was a lot of noise in the beginning, and then it kind of meshes in, goes well, and you start getting like your little head nodding and all that stuff. It was fun. Instruments are always like any rock album you do. You know one thing for sure: the instruments are gonna be on key. They have to be because you're not making a shitty song with a missed note here and a missed note there. So the drums were nice. The guitar was good. His voice was pleasant. It wasn't like, okay, it's not a super aggressive song, but it was a little disappointing in the sense is I was feeling, okay, this is Wolves. This album's called Wolves. You're going to put it first. You want to hit a home run. It wasn't a home run at all. It was like, if you're going to go in sports term, it was a single. Like a first run to base.
I would give it a double or a triple.
Okay. But like, unfortunately, it lost a lot of the hype. Like for me, so I'm like, it took you 3 times. You got a couple of balls. You finally hit a shot, and I wasn't super happy. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. So far, I would give it maybe. See, over here we don't give 0.5s right now.
Yeah, you can give it 0.5.
But I'm not gonna give it a 0.5. I was gonna see. It's like I don't want to give it a 3.
I gave 0.5s.
But I was gonna be like maybe a 2.9, but I'm not gonna do that. So it's a 3.
Okay.
Like, I was a little bit of like, okay, it was passable.
You know what the only real detriment is that it doesn't end as strong as well as it starts. And
But that's the opposite for me. Like, it didn't start good, but it ended good.
That start for me was like fucking perfect. You got my like, what right there. It was so eloquently put together, intricate.
Like
it
in
was
other
beautiful.
albums that we've done, I've been like, wow. And then I've been let down. This one started me off with a
Oh, dude,
letdown.
this was solid for me. I don't agree. This had me like. Don't get me wrong. It's not a perfect song. I can't like. I have to be objective, but it's a strong fucking start to me. I mean, I get it, but I don't agree. Is all I'm trying to say.
It's all right. The next song is House of Fire.
House on Fire.
Is it on?
It's on.
You touch me like a razor blade. I wish there was some other way right now. Oh, like a house on
Welcome back.
So this song appears to be Eminem and Rihanna's "Love the Way You Lie" in terms of subject matter of a turbulent relationship that he's addicted to, but just done in the style of Rise Against abstract poetry, right? Because like if you look at the verses, it's kind of just describing like this toxic situation that he loves and hates, and he's creating this kind of dichotomy, and it's clearly about a girl and house on fire, like our homes all. Anyway, it's definitely in the ballpark of my relationship's fucked up, but I both love and hate it, right? And that's what I got from the song.
Can I ask you a question? It seems lately with a lot of rock groups that they're staying away from like depressing, like not depressing, but like a serious tone, and they're trying to do like a song about breaking up or a relationship or a serious matter, but they're trying to make it upbeat a lot now.
Well,
That's how I feel.
I feel like more like it was an interesting because it was higher energy, right? And I do feel like it was strangely fun. I agree. I did get that sense of it, but I thought it was pretty solid still. Like it wasn't just because those relationships are fun, right? Like if you've ever been involved in something like that, it's not boring. Like
At one point, I started to laugh really hard because he's like toss you like a hand grenade. Then I started thinking of Bruno Mars. I'll take a grenade for you, whatever that stupid song is called.
Yeah, that song's amazing. It really hits the deep romantic in me. No, look, I admit there's a certain degree of like there's a certain degree of cheese factor to this song.
Oh, this is a poutine that's not even fries. This is just pure cheese. You're getting some slop.
If you don't know what a poutine is, Google that shit. It'll change your life.
It will get you the size of me.
It will, but for real, like it was really well done. The basing again on the verses, it was not just the cliche constant notes. There were little variations at the end of like like where it was great. It really entranced me. His singing hit it right. The drums were there, but it felt
cheese.
Yeah. It was really hard to call this one a perfect song. Like he's proven in the past that they can come up with some serious shit.
So I'm gonna bring out my inner fat guy. This was an extra large, extra cheese song for me. When I took this slice up, I tried to listen to it a couple of times. I couldn't have a serious face. I'm like, am I supposed to be sad for you or happy? Because it's too energetic. I'm like, stop it.
Yeah.
Which is nice, but I'm like...
And you know what?
It doesn't get that... It doesn't... The song, like the music did not help get the message across.
See, I'm not going to agree with you there because I've been in that relationship a couple of times.
So you've been in a bad relationship and that you're like...
Yeah, it's like a fucking rush, man.
Rush.
When you're in that kind of relationship and you're not ready to like leave it or it hasn't gotten to hell... And you're in the middle while your house is on fire before like the warning signs are all there and everything's fucked up and you know it's wrong, you know it's gonna go crazy, but you still love every second of it.
It's like you toss it like a hand grenade.
Yeah, it is. You're like playing with fire sometimes. I mean, I don't want to go too much into it, but
if she catches you, like I'm sorry, I can't. It's so cheesy that I have to be cheesy.
I get it, but I like it. I thought it was honest.
What did you give this?
I give it a 4 on 5 because of the cheese factor of this song, and I can't get because it was, but I thought it was still well written. It was very honest, and as much as it was a strange conflict of emotion, I didn't hate it. I just also didn't think it was a fucking masterpiece. So 4 on 5.
Gave it a so gave it a 3.5 on the cheese factor. It's not a plus, but it's not a bad song, but it's not great. I'd skip it, but you never know. Maybe honestly, if I'm feeling sad and I want to be happy at the same time, I'll listen to this while I eat my pizza.
Before you got here, I was out biking and I had the album playing. Dude, it's really nice in the sun. Honestly, it's not bad at all in the sun. It's just a strange fucking song to sing.
I'm telling you right now, unfortunately, in the summer, I'm not listening to this. I'm probably going to listen to Despacito or something like really poppy.
For me, this is a summer jam because I don't know. To me, it's also my like favorite sounds, I guess. I don't know. All right, let's go on. Let's go on to the violence.
The lead song
Single. You want to
of
start?
the album.
Single. It's not the lead song. It's the lead single. The lead song is Wolves, as you said previously. If you're gonna start it, like, I'm gonna start this one. Be right.
Can't help it, man. I had to take a break. I'm getting back into things. I'm breaking the routine. I'm bringing some comedic relief because
It's okay.
someone's very dry.
Oh, come on.
I'm just kidding. The lead single of this interesting album. So doing research, I was listening to them and hearing them talk about the song and everything. And so from what I got from what he said and stuff, the song talks about the fear of World War III and the struggle of humanity. What can I say more about it? I would have to dissect
Don't
the
worry,
lyrics more.
I can say more about it.
Because, he's a really good fanboy about that. And
I love lyrics.
fucking guy. Just listening to it and you close your eyes and it's a bit more up tempo, but it's still sad though in a way.
Yeah.
It's a sad tone and the instruments are gay, like they're good, but there's an essence from the CD, the song, from everything so far leading up to this. It's only the third song in and I'm just like, something's missing.
I don't know about what something missing. Here's the first
It
song.
feels incomplete.
See, when it got to this song, I was like, that's it. I found what I'm looking for, per se. It's weird. I heard the single before, but I didn't really listen to it a lot. I kind of wanted to wait for the album. And it's proper. It sounds like a step above the previous two in terms of like the
That's
power
not really
of it,
saying
right?
much.
I don't agree. I like the other two. You don't like them. So, it's not like it wasn't like, it didn't feel so much like it was written to be a single, but when you look at the lyrics, right, because it's really a powerful lyric song. The first verse kind of question shit, like the attitude of is this all a dream, like the jaded disillusioned nature of us, because for so long people are like, it can't happen here, it can't happen, but now the bombs are going off in America and shit's here, you can't avoid it, the first world's been invaded, there's bad stuff happening, and then kind of questioning that, like almost unwillingness to accept it, and then the chorus kind of brings it back to us in like a questioning form, right? It's not like a judgmental thing, it's a questioning of like your motives, your individual, like personal, like belief structure. And then in the second verse, just on the little bridge, it's more of a challenge saying like, look, it's not too late, be aware, step up, it's not a fucking dream, this is happening now, like, Mr. Trump's president and shit, wake the fuck up, this was kind of what I got from it, like a hashtag be woke styled fucking track coming out of them, where it is just about the violence, because it's here, and people are fucking so unwilling to accept that it's here, right?
I feel with the whole Trump thing now, if we're going to get a little bit political, I feel like everyone's using this as an excuse. All the violence was there even before it. And I think it's looking a lot less than it was. It actually looks better in the States than what it was a couple of, maybe 2 years ago. I'm not saying Obama did a bad job, but in the last few years in the Obama administration,
it's actually just gotten progressively worse.
I don't see it. I'm guessing we're seeing less of it.
2017 has been pretty bad, dude. There's been a lot of
no, hold on. I'm talking about the States. If we're going to go with the world, then you're 100% right.
I'm talking about
globally.
I would say the civil side of the States, the way people are behaving, the polarized nature, everything that you saw under Obama is just more divided now than it ever was, and the ignorance is greater than it's ever been. And
obviously, I see your point. I just don't. Maybe I'm not seeing as much on the news as I was before.
Well, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into that.
No, we can talk. The news is a complicated situation right now. But yeah, so I do believe that the violence has come here. There is just like university protests of full beatdowns.
I'm just saying
I just watched hostage situations where students bullied a professor for having an opinion, and it's crazy where like the state of tension in that country is insanity right now.
Anyways, in 2017, so far it looks like it's anti-Trump CD time in the rock world, and if that's it's going to be, I'm sorry to tell a lot about.
Did you not look at 2000 to 2008? It was 8 years of anti-Bush CD time in that world.
I know, but I'm like,
and
sometimes
this is a
music
punk
takes
album, right? So punk is, I mean, whether or not you qualify this as real punk, Rise Against has always been under the punk umbrella. So in the spirit of everything is anti-establishment, and they've always been a band, just to defend them, that has critiqued social issues like this, so it's not really out of scope for them. Whereas other artists, it might be more of a pandering move. I just want to justify they would have done this either way, and I'm sure.
Yeah, fine. But
And they
I'm
were
gonna go
writing
the
the
opposite way.
criticizing of the Obama's harms just as much as anyone else. That's
Yeah,
why they
notice
don't
it.
say the names; they just describe the circumstances, right?
Well, another thing I learned so far from listening to a couple of these songs is like they're not on point with their choruses. I find I'm not enjoying. Like I
This one
really
was
find like a
fantastic.
chorus to me is really important because that's like the little chorus you get and it's like the repeating and you're like, okay, I'm jamming to this. I like it. I can't wait for the chorus. Sometimes this one so far the CDs I've been let down with the choruses. I didn't enjoy it. Me, I gave this song it's another passable 3.
I gave this a 5, man. I thought the chorus was fantastic. I thought it was like really on point. You know what it is? It's non-conventional. So I'll give you that. It doesn't follow the standard way you write a chorus. There's a few melodies and deviations in it,
Look.
but that attracts me to it because it was
I'm
really.
Steph Curry and I'm only shooting up 3s so far.
Look, all I'm trying to say, man. I mean, I get it. That one I understood. I know who Steph Curry is. I'm not a big sports person, so forgive me.
I'm just going
internet.
for cheap punchlines right now.
But no, this song was a step. Like, it's a solid jam. This was an amazing track. One of the best I've heard this year in rock music, in my opinion.
All right, I
5 on
respect that.
5.
You
So-
know, with Rockin' in the Beard, right? Where that's our group, Rockin' Beards, right?
Yeah.
And everything. And I just like to say,
haven't
welcome to the
figured out
breakdown. Welcome to the breakdown.
This song was my favorite song so far on the album. It was an amazing start. That drums, it was just insanity. It was really great. It like hooked me right away. I thought the violence was a really good song, and then I heard this, and I was like, oh, I overrated the violence, but fine. And then Welcome to the Breakdown. It was great, man. It just kind of attacked the censorship of information that's happening now, and on top of that, the willingness to accept the censorship of information. And I've seen a lot of examples of that in 2017 that I never saw in previous years, where it's almost like the students have the power to censor the teachers over being offended, which is something that has been highly instigated in the last while. And it's kind of the breakdown of information and proper knowledge. It scares the shit out of me, to be honest. And it was delivered so eloquently. Like, verses were strong. This chorus was fucking on point. I don't care what you say. This track is a 5, man. I can't even find a flaw in it.
Okay, well, he had his. Don't see how he saw, like, his vision of it is completely different from mine. What I was thinking about it when I was listening to it, I was like, okay, so this is another shot at the Trump administration in the last presidential
I
election.
agree with that.
And the breakdown for me, the breakdown was the breakdown of information to the people, like he said, but it's also the breakdown to the electoral system, like how the mistake of Trump being elected as president being that like certain things. We had a conversation right before we started this podcast, and like me personally, I believe in like the whole Russia thing with the whole hacking and stuff. Whatever, take that aside. I think that's the breakdown. The breakdown was the like everyone was gonna vote Hillary to a point, and then the breakdown happened. It's like we that last message of the Russian the hacks and all these stuff, and then her emails. I think that was the last straw, and that's what broke down the people's trust.
I don't even
And that's
think
when we started.
we're disagreeing. I think it was a lot of things that triggered it. Like, I think what you're describing an example of what I see as the vision of this song.
No, the reason why I say we had a different vision is because when you brought up the whole student stuff and that stuff.
Oh,
that's,
but
I'm like,
to,
I'm just
to
going
me,
for one of
that's
the-
just a manifestation of what comes after, because there's a lot of problems related to this. It's not just one thing.
Yeah.
I think you could probably come up with another 20, 30 unique examples of variations of how.
But I felt like after, like, because also, after researching and listening to them and their explanation, it has influenced me listening to what they said. If I would have went just by whatever, I would have just been like, okay, he has like maybe it's a trust issue thing. There's a information from a personal life. If you don't really see, because a lot of people when you listen to a song. I would say the most of us we don't examine the lyrics to that point to where maybe an artist will and stuff. The way I see it is like I'm looking for catchiness and that's the whole pop sensation.
That might be the case for a lot of types of music, but Rise Against has always been a heavily lyrical band, right?
If you're more influenced with this band, then that's great.
But I'm
But,
saying
like-
that And just I think it's a unfair assumption to go that most people are trying to write catchy lyrics, and that's what most people
No, I'm not
want.
saying what.
So
I'm not saying
I
what
think
they
that
want.
a lot of people in pop music would do that, but something like this, you're gonna play that a lot, and the lyrics actually do make a difference to a lot of people, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like maybe so far with the review of this CD is I feel like if you put this on for the first time, you might not dig it, and then if you might need a couple of
I don't
plays.
know. I think if you're into the punk scene at all, and you're into like the style that they have, at least what punk's become in the modern era, this is some fucking powerful instrumentation.
Look,
right?
at the end of the day,
High
this band will
energy.
always be better in the punk standards because when I used to think of punk, I only thought of two things. That stupid band that said Sugar Baby, whatever the one with the deer in the music video. I can't remember.
I don't
Fall Out Boy. There you go.
That's really pop on the pop.
And
punk
then
side.
Avril Lavigne.
That's not, but no, that's really punk. That's really like super pop punk. Like I kick
Like
that. Really,
that's what.
because that's not like there's no aggression to that. This is like these guys are angry, right?
Are they though? They're not coming off angry on the songs.
I think that it's part of like the part of where you're in your 40s now, and how you manifest anger changes as you get older, right?
Okay, but maybe if this songs in my head were maybe a little bit more aggressive in the sound,
Dude,
it would be
this
a bit
is
better.
a pretty fucking like. I mean, I would say it's polished, but it's aggressive. He does not sing in a happy tone of voice. It's got pain in his voice in most of these songs to me. Like he's frustrated. He doesn't know how to communicate anymore with people, and he's just kind of decided to write an album. And well, most of the music is like just describing what he's seeing around him, and I see the same kind of point of view as he had in this song. At least I was right there with him. I give this a 5. I thought it was an excellent capturing of a specific thing.
You know, I like this title of the song because so far our relationship during this whole CD is a breakdown.
That's okay, but I care about the lyrics, and I think this is fucking, just as you said multiple times, the music is on fucking point.
No, that's 100%. We can agree on something
And
finally.
then if you're gonna have like a bunch of songs about shit, right? I'd rather have guys who know what the fuck they're talking about writing cool poetry than a bunch of morons. It's like the same thing of like listening to bullshit rap versus dope rap. This is like dope music. What they're actually writing about makes a huge difference. His voice sings excellently. I love his register or pitch and everything he does is amazing to me. Not everything. He has some worse songs on here.
100%.
But this one was a fucking proper jam. It might even be one of the best songs on the album. Flat out. 5 on 5.
Okay.
I-
I will give it a better mark. This one was a 4 because it was a bit better than everything else so far. But it's still far from perfect.
Hearts all gravitated together, but before we could be part of this mosaic, we had to break apart like glass.
Far from perfect.
Yeah. It started out like the first 6 seconds are like the best part of the song or whatever. No?
Really? Really?
Look.
That's mean. That's like the
Well-
meanest thing you've said so far today.
Look, again, well, the last song was like A-game proper, amazing the whole way through. And there's a bit of a thing I've noticed. The songs start off like perfect sometimes, and then by like the end of it, it's kind of fallen off a bit. And this one's a little bit harder to defend lyrically because it was straight pandering. Straight pandering. Everybody's amazing for their flaws and imperfections and shit. And I love the idea there, but
Self-help thing. Like, hey,
Well,
you're
it's-
not bad. You're not broken.
like
You're
I feel
perfect.
like what they're trying to say with this song is be you, and what they end up saying is you're great the way you are, and that message isn't always uniformly true, right? Like if you're a drug addict, it might be smart to get help, so you might be far from perfect and people should still like you, but you might need to change shit in your life. And regardless to what your circumstances are, I feel like it was missing that you should try to attain more. It was just kind of soft and cuddly. But the music was solid. It was just slower and softer and a little on the washier side.
So, like, the first 15 seconds, 20 seconds with the instrumentals,
Yeah.
I really liked because I felt I was listening to the Ramones for a second, and I really enjoyed it. And then when he started to sing, I was like, it's all gone. Just stop.
I still thought it was like a solid jam.
No, it was kind of cheesy. A self-appreciation song. Chorus is okay, but the song is blah. So far, I like this album.
Nah, this is definitely the worst song on the album so far. I thought it was good. It was like a 3.5 on 5. Like Like, it's definitely, like, the part of the album where I'd be more
This is a
inclined to
skip.
skip this than anything I've heard so far. Like, I can't really defend this song as much as I would like to, but
I'm giving
it's
this.
not bad. It's better than a lot of other music. It's just bad for Rise Against, in my opinion.
So for this song, I'm giving it a 2.5
Okay.
because like really just like whatever. Like I just wanted to give it my deuces and leave. Like I did not want to listen to the song. I wanted to skip it, but out of respect and doing this review, I listened to it 3 or 4 times, and I'm just like, why, and this is
Yeah.
bullshit.
Oh, fair
No,
enough.
I'm not doing it to that. I'm just actually. I know the next song is called bullshit,
Yeah,
but
okay.
this is bullshit.
Nah, you know what, man? Like, it's hard to defend it on an intellectual level. It's
No,
hard to
it's-
defend it on a musical level because it's weaker and slower. And I guess, you know, on an album called Wolves, it doesn't even seem to fit the spirit of what the
Oh,
first
that's
song was trying
exactly-
to say, right? Like, the first
100%.
song presents everything as vicious and rebellious, and here it's just the wrong song for this album, in my opinion. This would have been a good standalone single for a charity event like they're known to do. And
Well, kind of like this song's kind of like that when we did the Logic review. You know, the 1-800 the Save Yourself. song?
yeah,
It's like this could have been like their big single, but it's just like whatever.
yeah, I don't know.
It's perfect. It's far from perfect.
Yeah, no, I agree. So yeah, like you said, the next track's bullshit.
Bullshit.
Man, I like this song. I don't give a shit. Like,
I actually enjoyed it too.
honestly, I was starting to hope that, like, it's track 5, Far From Perfect, and sometimes track 5 creates a slump of a few bad songs before they close strong. Especially when there's 11 songs. Yeah, we know there's a deluxe. We just went with what was on Spotify. And Bullshit just started off amazing. Like, it's a fucking anthem type feel, right? Like, really good, like, bullshit.
I was kind of skeptical in the beginning, to be honest.
But I like the message too. This one I can fucking get behind. This is like an attack on the "this is what it is" crowd. The people who just like are compliant with the status quo, but
Yeah,
for
this was a punk anthem, yeah.
real reason, right? It's like things are falling apart as he's presented contextually earlier on the album, and your attitude that this is what you have to do is just bullshit. And I get where they're coming from. If you look at what people do in their spare time, it says a lot about their priorities and what they really think is important. I get that everyone has to go to work. I'm not going to fight that. I know some anarchists out there who would fight that. But no, I get that you got to to some degree, be a cog in the system. But what you do with yourself outside of that, it's bullshit to imply that everything is just the way that it is and that change is impossible. And you see so much of that attitude put out there these days. At least my perspective is that. And musically, so good. Like, it's really good. And I like that they called it bullshit and just flat out put out there. The drums are fucking great.
This should have been the
Guitar,
single.
bass. I can see why it's not, but I agree that it should have been the single. I think that there's still a taboo about having singles with swearing. Like, they did make Akon change the name of "Fuck You" to "Forget You" or whatever. What he did, I don't know.
Maybe he released it twice. Anyways, it was a good
Or
song.
CeeLo, that's what I meant.
Forget that song.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can swear. We don't care. Bullshit.
Internet.
Damn right. So I was kind of skeptical in the beginning. Like, really, I was surprised, though, because it ended up being fun.
Really
it was
fun.
good. The chorus, like, for once, I can't shit on the song. It was a good, fun track. Like, I would jam at this. I would jump. I would mosh. I would push. I would shove. I would,
It would be so good.
you know, like, it's fun. It's like, you know, I can even see this being a music video to one time.
I could see how it's a proper single worthiness. I wonder if they would do it with the swearing in the title. But yeah, I agree.
Bruh, bullshit. Like, I'm pretty sure, no offense, like, if we can say bitch, you can say bullshit on TV now.
Bitch has always been allowed on TV. Bullshit was banned.
Fuck off. You know what? For once, it's a 4.
What? This song was a straight 5. This song was a great anthem. This song was like high energy. I feel like it doesn't really matter if you like Rise Against or not. If you're in that angry, want to fuck the system kind of mood, you put this on and you jump on and you just want to fuck around. Like you're saying, it's mosh worthy. It's great. It's fast. It was everything I wanted out of this album. It contends proper with what I felt about Welcome to the Breakdown. More in tune with that hard feeling, though. I like it. 5 on 5, like I said.
So 4. I liked it. It was a good song. You know, the politics of love, right?
Yep, that's the next one. I just gotta start this, man. Did he really fucking write a song about how not communicating in a relationship is bad news bears and will end shit? And because that's kind of what I felt like. He didn't talk about this issue, it created a rift and blah blah blah.
Easy,
and
cheapy song.
she walked away. I don't know about that, dude. It's really
Typical breakup song.
it's not a breakup song. See,
To me, it is.
yeah, but it's more about the why than the if, right?
But a
So-
breakup song is something you listen to after the breakup. And I'm there. I'm just like, you want to feel sorry and self-loathing.
Well, that's
This
why
is
it's not
self-loathing,
a
fun
typical.
song.
So it's not a typical breakup song. It's a different kind of song. It's educational. Absolutely. Like, they're looking at it from a perspective of why the breakup happened. It's yeah. Anyway, because it's more like this is more analytical, right? It's kind of describing how if you don't deal with your issues, this is what's gonna happen. Whereas a typical breakup song is, oh my God, I miss her and blah, blah, blah. And that's a typical breakup song where you wallow. This is more like, before you break up, if your shit's not going proper, you should probably deal with it song. So I would say it's describing the politics of love and how we do turn love into a political series of shits. And we do play these games, right? Like, I've been in several relationships in my life. I happen to be in a healthy one now, but clearly Tim...
Shout out to Bonnie. Thank you.
Tim over there is like not in the best of relationships, as it's not the first song he's written about bad relationships on this album. But I like that it wasn't whiny. It was more about describing his recognition of what he could do differently next time, what he did wrong, and owning it. Like, I was like, this is the most mature fucking breakup song I've ever fucking heard. I gave it a 5. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was well constructed. I thought the lyrics were on point. I love the chorus. The way that it's like, honestly, the opposite of all the other choruses. It didn't just follow the notes directly. It changed shit. It took the album in a slightly new direction. It was great, man. It served. It's well placed. I have no problems here.
Okay.
Of course. What did you give it?
No. I'm going to talk now. See, this is the hard part about the review. It's where you have to... I want the people to know that I review it on my personal taste. If I review it with an open mind, I would probably give almost every song a very good score. But I do it with what I like. And the problem is, like, it's hard to be objective on this song, on this one song so far, is because it was so, like, played out for me. It wasn't fun. It wasn't, like, music-wise was great. Like, it was, the instrument, the playing, it was fun. I just didn't like it. I'm like, okay, it's some sappy breakup song for me. Like, okay, he's giving me a different look into it now. I see with the educational part, which I still don't care about.
It's not typical.
To me, typical. To me.
Okay. You're entitled to your not typical opinion.
Typically. So it's typical, once again, to me, because it was just bad. I wanted to press next. It was...
What?
It sucked.
I don't even think we were listening to
It
the same song.
sucked. It was not fun. It was... Wanted to push next. Like, every single time. It was like, fuck off this song. Leave it alone. You know what? Just not to give it a 1, it's a 2.
Okay.
Because it's just...
I agree. I give it a 5. It was an amazingly perfect song.
Parts per million. It's the next song.
Yeah, okay.
Then we all tuned out as we are hypnotized by the sparkling lights. We thought
So, I'm going to start this off because I'm more of the fast, easygoing review here, and we got our little scientific professor here of
Sure.
music.
Because I care and like about this shit.
So, parts per million. I kind of wrote this down, so I'm sorry for this, people. I kind of felt like this song was a filler to a bad anime. One of those people make on, you know, with the fight just came out, and like, I want to see Naruto versus Sasuke, you know, to all my anime people out there. And I'm like, listen, this song would be in the background when they fight, and I'm like, I really don't like it, so I would not watch it. And then when I listened to the song, it was kind of like, it was kind of cool to a point, but I was bored. At this point, I think the CD just got to me, and I was bored with it. It is a bit faster though, and that was pleasant.
starts
So-
off with power chords.
You're gonna get
Just
to your point. So, I don't know. It just like I said a while back, something was missing it for me. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was me being sick. Maybe it was me being a dick. A bit of both, maybe, or basically everything 100. Maybe I'm too 100 for the CD.
Nah.
So on to you.
So yeah, this is about the environment, and I thought it was just interesting, even with the title, because it's one of those things you don't think about. You hear it a lot, how many parts per million of this and that's in your water, in your air supply. If you ever consider the uranium that we're breathing and the oxygen right now due to nuclear testing that everyone's doing. So, you know, and these guys have cared about the environment for, like, their entire career, so it's not really new for them, and I was kind of expecting something from the environment here, but they didn't bother me with their message. It was more about, do you really understand the information, you know, attacking that again. But the music was great, it was upbeat, but actually I did feel like there was something missing on this song. Not quite to the extent that you feel. I feel like it's mostly great. I think like it's all that I want from it, but it just wasn't all that I want. It was so close. It was like almost too perfect again. And I feel like one of the things that I really liked, like right after I reviewed this, Like the Angel came on by Rise Against. This is one of their first singles like ever. And it was almost like the raw energy of their early recordings that was truly magnificent. And I think it's just that it's so polished now. Like their sound engineers are so much better per se, and that's almost like taking away from it. And if it was a little less polished and a little more
rougher,
a little more punk with it, I think it would have actually come out. This song especially would have come out like twice as good.
So that's the thing I'm saying. Like it was missing that punk essence.
Right, it was something too perfect about it. But
No, but I feel like that CD, this whole CD,
Right.
except for one or two songs, it was missing that punk essence. That's why I wasn't so digging it. Like this, it was more pop than punk.
So I would still give it a 4 on 5 because this one is a little more on the pop punk side. I would say it was
Passable.
good.
3.
It was a fun jam. I could definitely see myself biking to this, enjoying this. This would give me energy and my drive to go do stuff.
Okay, so I have a straight up question for you.
What?
If you had a playlist of 10 songs for energy songs, would this be in it?
Well, if the entirety of music, no. But if I had to go through like Rise Against catalog, it would
No.
cycle its way through. Like here's the thing: is that that's like I don't even think I'd have anything in punk on my playlist for that kind of thing.
Try to
It's-
save it.
But it's just like I don't think that this is a top 10 fucking amazing track. But whereas I would definitely say yeah to something like maybe Bullshit, I would not say yes to this. But let's say I was looking for a top 1,000, yeah, because there's that much fucking music out there. I could see how if within Rise Against, yeah, it could cycle its way through my playlist. I would listen to it occasionally. It would never be like an everyday song.
I give it a 3.
Fair enough.
It was a fair song. It was easy. It was passable. To our American friends, Mourning in Amerika.
Yeah, Mourning in America with a K, not with a C.
Manufactured us. The only thing we'll fight for every day is a better seat or a crashy airplane to see.
So this song made me lyrically think of their jam Entertainment from back in the day, and kind of how like we're almost blind to what's going on. Only if you really look around, there's like mourning in the streets of America. Anyway, it really was like a lot of their other songs criticizing the system and this emotional state of the world. Only what I thought was interesting is like 10 years ago, a lot of their shit was almost like a warning. Like, this is happening and it's going to get real bad. And now they're just like, it's kind of real bad. Shame on you for letting it happen is a little bit of the tone I felt on this.
But as musicians, they could have made more of an effort to...
it was just weaker, right? Like, it just, even I have to admit, this song kind of felt lackluster. Like, I guess they were trying to be melancholy or something, but it really just, it just, there was no great energy to it. There was no awesome punkness. There was,
It's boring.
yeah, it was kind of on the boring side. Like, it was, you know, like everything it was supposed to be in a song, it was constructed in almost a formulaic way. It was
Filler.
Yeah, I did not enjoy it.
They
that
couldn't
much.
get to 12 songs or 13 or 10 or 11, and they added this, and it's like, oh, we got another number. Thank God.
Yeah, I think that they actually thought this would be like a great fucking jam based on what they've written. No, I do, because look, they put the America with the K. This was their bold, like,
Marco.
but
So for me, I started with this song. I started seeing, like, without research or anything, like the first playthrough, without looking at anything, I started to see like this is a political CD, obviously, because I'm not a big Rise Against fan at all. So I came into this fresh ears, and I'm like, okay, so this is them just standing up to the administration. They're not happy with it. They're against the man, we'll call it, or I don't know if they're anti-Trump or anti-establishment overall.
I think they're just anti-corruption.
Also, well, that's pretty much everybody though.
No, but they're fair. They were protesting during the Occupy shit in the middle of fucking the Obama thing. Like, I mean, I don't think they're partisan with it. Is all I'm trying to say.
Okay,
I think
but,
they just hate the system for what it is because it's fucked.
no. So, anyways, so like I'm gonna take away them going after Trump. They're against the establishment, like I said. They would like maybe a better government, and I feel like they could have done a lot better with the CD or the song itself. It was a very hit or miss, and this was a miss.
Yeah.
So far, the CD to me has no impact. Like, it had no impact to me. Like, there's certain CDs go there and they're like, wow, yo, they stood up and they went out of their way. This one is just like so blah for me. Like,
I feel like,
but the
they're-
music's good though.
you know, as you say that, I feel like they're more disconnected from the people than they used to be.
Okay.
And either way, I give this a 3.5 on 5. I don't think it was
So-
spectacular.
Like, as artists, I respect them, so that's why I gave them a 3. It's like, I'm not gonna diss you. Like, I gave them a 2 and I gave them a 2.5, but this song was a 3 because I respect the music and like
It was
the
okay.
playing.
It
It
was
was just,
Wishy-washy.
you know, so far the CD has how many walls?
I don't know. Too many walls, I guess.
How many walls can you put? How many guns till you feel safe? How many times can we watch this story?
Yeah, this song is definitely a lot more about Donald Trump directly, I think. But more, it's not just about him. I mean, it's about him because of the walls directly, like taking a shot at him with the title, but it's deeper. It's like, historically speaking, this type of thinking hasn't worked. Like, they built a giant wall in China to keep the Mongols out, didn't work. They built giant walls here to do that, didn't work. There's always been like situations historically where putting up a wall doesn't really solve the problem. And if you look emotionally, and he said previously in his relationships, didn't work. So I think he's trying to say, look, if our leadership is just telling us to put up a wall and like everyone's so willing to accept it, do we not learn from our history? Do we not pay attention to what's been done, what worked, what didn't? And, you know, musically, it's not like the greatest song on the album. It's strong. It's got that good, more upbeat, high energy feel. The chorus is kind of cliche at this point, a little bit like this could have been another song on the album is kind of how I felt in terms of distinction. And then it did its little breakdown at the end and
If
flowed
this was
out.
the last song in their concert, I'd walk out.
Yeah, it would definitely be.
I'd be getting to my car for the
Honestly, I wouldn't want to see this live. I would just hope that How Many Walls didn't get played. But I like it as like a song for this album. I gave it a 4. I don't think it's shit by any means.
I only have one thing I wrote for this. Just stop it.
Oh, come on. It was not that shitty.
Just stop it. After this point, I got fed up. I was tired of the whole political thing. I wanted more of something to jam to, and I was just. So I understand you have a message. You're allowed.
See,
that's your point in the CD. You want to send a message.
I think that.
But sometimes you need to jam out.
I
Sometimes
don't
you need
think
those
that,
songs.
like, you do need those songs. I hate, like, when artists have, like, a really powerful message on their album and then throw an arbitrary single to pander to pop people. That's what they'd be doing if they wrote
Okay,
a song
fine,
to
but you
just
can make
jam
a song.
out.
Okay, but then also you can make a song that you feel like you're doing your political agenda and everything, and you're sticking to your artistic values, but make a good song. This wasn't a good song.
But
So far, the
look,
CD to
I'm
me was
saying
a
that
letdown.
I'm okay with like your idea of this not being a great song, but the part where like they should not be political, that's their entire
No,
career,
I understand
right?
that, but like I said, that's why I corrected myself just before. I'm
Right,
like,
right.
Have a song, have better songs.
And I agree. This is not. I think there have been great songs on this album. This one kind of didn't have that much to it.
It was a 2.5 for me.
It was a 4. It was strong. Like, had I not heard the rest of the album, and this was the only song I heard off the album, I'd be like, this is a good Rise Against song. I'm excited to still hear the album. I would still be excited. But having heard the better songs on the album, I'm a little like, okay, you could have done more with this.
Yeah, not that I agree with you. Finally,
That's it. But still a 4. And frankly, like, there's one track left.
hopefully it's a miracle.
Hopefully.
To tumble from the sky, to part the seas around you, to water into light, away from miracle.
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you, Holden, for letting me go. So, just right before I was saying they didn't have that song, like that popish, energetic song. This is pretty much it.
Well, you were saying,
Okay,
you're redacted, rephrase saying, yes, I agree with you.
I'm just saying this song is that song.
This song was great. This song
It's
was
fun.
a fucking... I
But
don't
it's
think
basically it's a simple message though. It's the most simplest one. It's like, don't expect for miracles. You got to go out and get it yourself.
Well, yeah, but like while mocking that people do that, like it's basically saying, look, everyone's sitting out there almost waiting for somebody else to solve the problem.
Yeah.
And these problems are not huge. Society's all fucked up and shit. And how are you going to complain that people are taking from you, but do like literally nothing to change shit that you obviously know is wrong? Stuff has always been wrong. It's no secret to you, but you still participate in the system. Stop waiting for this miracle to save you. Go do it yourself.
Yeah. There's not much you can say more. It's a simple song. It's good. It's catchy. It's fun. It's upbeat.
I think it had strong instrumentation. I don't think it was that distinct. Again, maybe it's that thing that you liked about it. I thought it was another 4.
Yeah.
I would not say this is it was a good way to end the album from like a concept side of things. Like if you think about it, they create the context of a problem.
But if you look at it in a CD, like in a sense, kind of look at it like this. It's like a movie in a way, where you start off with like something's going on, like tragic in a way, and then it's like you finally see the sun over the beauty over the horizon, and that's the miracle.
Well, I don't
part.
even think it's the beautiful. No, I don't think that's the right way to end it. This song is saying, look, the world is the way it is.
No, you just went through a journey. You just
But the end isn't that waiting for the miracle. That's kind of not the point of the song. It's the opposite. It's now that you've gone through all of that, you get to this end, and it's like, okay, now stand up and do something about it. I challenge you with this song. Is what he's saying.
Films that I watch, like there's always a journey. It starts off hard, and then they work to get to the beautiful ending. I'm not talking like the Karate Kid where he does like a sweeping crane kick.
It's a movie. It's an album.
No, I know.
Where
That's why I'm giving you an
they
example.
work through the journey and then tell you need to go create that beautiful ending.
So they went through the journey. That's exactly what they're doing here, saying the beauty over the horizons, like
But
the political.
Jay, you're not listening. It's not what they're saying. What they're saying is, we've created this context where the life is fucking terrible, and frankly, you need to shut the fuck up, stop whining, and do something about it because you're the problem too. So stop wishing for a miracle and go do something about it. There is no miracle. That's what the song is about.
I know. I'm not saying there's a miracle.
So for you to say that it ends with them saying, hey, and then there's a miracle, is the literal opposite.
No, I'm not saying, hey, it ends with a miracle.
It's like the opposite of how a Hollywood production ends. A Hollywood production ends on a happy note. This song ends with a very negative tone. It's shit's... But it's a challenge, right? It's not...
We agree on that, yeah.
And the challenge is saying, if you don't change shit, it's going to die.
Yeah.
So I think that the only positive part is that there is a choice that you can make to do it. But to say that it's positive, I don't know. It's just more like desperate.
I see, like, it's kind of more of like, it's like it's an anthem for you to get up and do your own thing, to do your job. It's not waiting.
Not to do your own thing, to fight this broken system, specifically.
Well, but that's if you're looking at, with this whole album, if you're looking at it in a political way.
I'm looking at just this song where it's saying that, and there are lines in it saying, you know that there are things that are wrong, and you still participate in this particular song. Like, it's directly talking.
See, that's where it comes with instrumentals, where the tone, right? And that's why I'm taking a look at the tone of the song. And I'm just looking at the music-wise, and it's upbeat and everything. That's why I'm looking at the horizon. That's why, to me, it's kind of nice.
Listening to the song, then.
But I am, in a way, too, because...
But you can't,
whole thing is about perspective.
But there's a whole thing about perspective. You're right. The musical comes off in a more pop way. That doesn't change what the song's about. The guy put lyrics there to describe what the song's about.
But it's my view of the lyrics and how I see it. I understand that the message is not like a beautiful message that there's going to be a miracle, but it is also saying that if you go up and you strive and you drive and you get up and you do it,
but you
will get a better result. I'm not saying it's a miracle.
Well, yeah, it's saying stop wishing for miracles.
and get up and do it.
But it's talking more in the grand consequence of somebody to save us from this bullshit
But
we're in.
maybe the miracle also is you getting up and working for it. Maybe that is a miracle in its own way.
It's
'Cause
kind
if
of
you're a lazy
saying
person-
that but that's saying that there's no miracles. You just achieve what you achieve.
But maybe that is the miracle in itself.
That's not really what a miracle is.
No,
like a
but
miracle.
it's all perspectives.
Well, no, miracles are kind of like this divine intervention, not necessarily God, but some intervention of sorts that saves you from a situation.
I
It's saying
know, like a miracle where
you
the guy
need to
comes into
save
church and
yourself,
doesn't have
which
cancer
is
anymore.
not a miracle.
I understand, but
I mean, as much as there's interpretation,
There you
then
go.
there's also the part where there's facts and opinions.
Mhm.
And opinions go as far as I like it or not. But to be like, there's things that it's about and then it's not about things. And I find very often we go, well, it kind of sounded like I felt like it could be this. But that doesn't make it that. That's just how you kind of,
yeah,
you know, it
that's-
doesn't make...
it. That's what I'm trying to say. At the end of the day, this is how I viewed it.
All
Now
right.
we agree or we don't. At the end of the day,
I'm
it's
just-
how I see it. Now you've informed me. Maybe when I
Right.
listen to it, if we came back and let's say in a year, if we keep on doing this, we have like a top 10 hits of our songs that we like from every album. And let's say I chose this song, I could be like, you know what, Holden really changed my mind on this. But at this moment, the way I see it is,
Just keep in
it's
mind,
good.
you don't care about the lyrics as much. You often focus on the music.
No, you know what the problem is hold on. I agree with what you said there, but there's also a disagreement because if let's say the CD came out yesterday and we reviewed it on 4 days later, I would put more emphasis on the lyrics.
But
I
just
a time
look
thing
at
too.
it like, I don't know, I open up like, and it's very rare that I find an album without the lyrics out like literally right away. So I just follow along, look at what it has to say, think about the words, think about what he's trying to do. And I do this pretty quickly, I'm not going to lie. I can pretty much size up what a song's about in a couple of
I'm not
like, my
artistic
first
like
listen.
that. I don't really
But it
analyze.
has a lot to just do if I read the words and I go, that's what he's saying. And
See,
then I
don't
look at it
the
like
words like that. 'Cause
like a
me-
literary essay per se, because this is dude's poetry, and
Mm-hmm.
that's part of the tone of a song, right? And you can't really, in my opinion, talk about what a song's about unless you've actually looked at what the guy was writing about.
Okay.
Unless even I'm like maybe EDM has messages that I don't know about, but that just seems to be like that.
The
But
only song I know that had a message on EDM
pretty
is that,
much.
I took a pill in Ibiza.
Well, that wasn't even EDM. That was a rock song remixed into an EDM
Yeah,
song.
I know that, but that's the only reason why.
Right. But like all I'm saying is that it's important to just but like when it's to say like songs about something, okay. To be like the song gave me this feeling, right? And then it's just prefacing your thoughts there in my opinion. It's just how you would do it differently, right? Like
Uh-huh.
you know, that's how it is. But to be like the message of a song versus I closed my eyes and I pictured a sunny rainbow because the music and then is in conflict with the message. That's a fair. You know what I'm trying to say? Anyway, that's enough about that, I guess.
It's okay. It's
I
just
still
his
give
perspective
this
at the end of the day.
4 on 5. It was a good way to close this album, I
Yeah,
think.
it was fun. It was so far.
Altogether, I kind of feel like the album was old men wisdom dishing music. I'm noticing as they get older, this is
If I gave it
happening
a
lot.
review on just the album at the end, I'm sorry to say that this album to me was the worst album we've reviewed so far. I actually like the Linkin Park album more.
I like this album more than I like the Linkin Park album. There's a lot more life and soul in this shit. Linkin Park album is like a manufactured version of this album. I got this album a 4.2. It's
I
really
gave
fucking
this-
strong.
I gave it a 3. Fine. I was gonna give it a 2.5, but I guess after listening to some of your points and everything, your perspective changed it a
Just
bit.
think
It's a 3.
It's a really well thought out album from
I
a
would not buy
lyrical
this.
perspective. I would. This is totally up my alley musically, right? Like, it's fun live. It's fun to listen to in multiple occasions, and I happen to think the instrumentation supports it. I think his voice is still
Probably
stellar.
gonna unsubscribe this CD
That's
from my
fine.
Spotify.
I'm gonna, go back and listen to the few songs I thought. I don't really listen. I listen to a lot of music lately, so it's hard to actually go sit there on albums. But I could see myself coming back to this at work a lot more often than other albums we reviewed. I thought it was just well composed, really tight, really just
Alright.
polished, just not. It doesn't have the spirit of their earlier work, you know?
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway, I guess that's it for this album then. I don't know.
Thank you for listening. Subscribe, like, and share.
Let us know what you think in the comments below. We're trying to, build a discussion, what you feel about any of the points.
Hit us up.
And,
You can
yeah.
catch me. Catch me on the outside, bruh.
Anyway. All right. Take care, folks.